Detectives say this is one of the strangest disappearances they have seen in their careers. A bright young production assistant vanishes into the woods, never to be seen again. This is Avery After Dark, and I'm your host, Avery Ross. Thanks so much for tuning in for today's episode. I'm so happy you're here. On Avery After Dark, I cover everything mysterious, chilling, and unexplained. So if that's up your alley, you are in the right place. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Leave a like and a comment while you're here, and turn on post notifications. I upload new videos every week, everything from true crime to the supernatural, and I don't want you to ever miss out on an episode. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's mystery. On October 5th, 2018, a 26-year-old production assistant named Terrence Woods Jr. disappeared while shooting a TV show on location in Idaho, specifically Nez Perce National Forest in Oro Grande. Terrence had been working on the first season of the Discovery Channel documentary series Gold Rush, Dave Terren's Lost Mine. He worked alongside a crew from the London-based production company Raw TV. Terrence was originally from Maryland and was described as reliable, intelligent. Friends and family said Terrence was a go-getter. He loved to read, loved the outdoors, just a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And he had big dreams. Ultimately wanting to become a film producer, he graduated from the University of Maryland, then went on to London and got a double master's degree. Terrence's dad, Terrence Sr., said he shared a very special bond with Terrence and Terrence's brother after he and their mother got divorced. Terrence Sr. got full custody and raised the boys. He was especially proud to watch his son chase after his dreams, and he lived at home while working in production. In the fall of 2018, Terrence seemed to be well on his way to achieving those dreams. In the film industry, everyone hopes to work their way up to the top, and Terrence was a part of this 12-person crew from Raw TV. They ventured to various regions of the western United States exploring disused mines in mountainous areas. On September 30th, 2018, Terrence's dad said he dropped his son off at the airport for this trip, saying, "See you later." This is a day that Terrence Sr. never forgot, the last time he saw his son. According to Terrence Sr., Terrence flew to Montana to meet with the crew for the shoot. When he arrived, he called his dad and said everything was going okay. Nothing out of the ordinary. But on the 3rd, Terrence texted his dad saying that he would be coming home early. But he didn't say why, and Terrence Sr. was wondering as he normally never cut a shoot early. On the 4th, the crew said Terrence and the rest of them made it to Idaho, and they all went out to dinner that evening. On October 5th, all 12 set out for another day of filming, and Terrence posted a photo to his private Instagram page. It showed a forest of trees with a river running through the middle underneath an overcast sky. He captioned it with one word, Idaho. Then later that evening, as the shoot was wrapping up, things took a really bizarre turn. Terrence supposedly told one of the 2 local women that had been helping with the shoot with traveling that he needed to use the bathroom. According to a producer on set named Simon G., he said he looked over and noticed Terrence had dropped his radio on the ground. And the next thing he saw was Terrence running down a steep cliff that led into the forest, where he said Terrence then disappeared into the trees. G and a few others said they tried to run down the cliff, attempting to catch up with Terrence, but said because the terrain was so rough and mountainous, they didn't get very far. They turned around, having found no sign of Terrence. The group said they initially believed he got down to a road, but that's where they lost him. And they couldn't decide where he went, left, right, or possibly maybe got into a car. They said they didn't know where he was going, he didn't say, they had no idea what happened. But Terrence never came back. He vanished. Terrence's disappearance was reported to the Idaho County Sheriff's Office at 6:41 p.m. that same evening. And the next day, the search for him began. Terrence's father was notified his son was missing. He said he got to Idaho on the 9th. Search teams made up of dogs, ground searchers on foot, and all-terrain vehicles, along with helicopter teams that could detect body heat, were sent out. Officers were on horseback. They were trying everything they could, but they were unable to find any trace of Terrence, and the search was ultimately called off after 6 days. How could that be? How could there be no trace of him? Former Sheriff Douglas Giddings said they searched the area for Terrence, but there are rivers, steep mountains, cliffs, bears, and cougars in that area, fighting the terrain in hopes to find Terrence. What happened? Had he gotten lost out there? According to former Sheriff Giddings, he said, "There are so many things that could have happened to him. You could make up any wild story that's possible because anything is possible." Since running into that forest after rapping that evening, no one has seen or heard from Terrence. There's been no activity on his credit cards, and although this entire story is beyond chilling and bizarre, Giddings said they never came up with any proof of foul play, but did say it doesn't happen very often where someone just flat out disappears. Simon G., one of the crew members, later told Terrence's father that Terrence was running faster than he had ever seen anyone run before. But for Terrence's family, this entire story doesn't add up, and said that he wouldn't run away without a good reason, unless he was scared. The film crew told the Idaho County Sheriff's Office that Terrence was having a really hard time emotionally and had an anxiety attack the morning of the shoot. But Terrence Sr. was immediately confused by this, as he had never known his son to suffer from anxiety, so this was alarming. Terrence Sr. and his family remain vigilant in their mission to find out what really happened to Terrence that night. And Terrence Wood Sr. has questioned whether his son made it to Idaho at all. Reportedly, the crew put up Facebook pictures with them in Montana, and then they put up pictures with them in Idaho. But Terrence Sr. said, "My son is in no pictures of theirs, not one photo," adding that he only knows Terrence for sure made it to Montana because he talked to him on the phone when he arrived there. But Raw TV told investigators there are numerous witnesses, both on the crew and at the hotel where the group was staying, that Terrence made it to Idaho. He was there. Raw TV has denied hiding any details surrounding Terrence's disappearance. And if you have any information on Terrence's whereabouts, contact the Idaho County Sheriff's Office. I pray for Terrence's family and hope they receive answers in this case. Like the former sheriff said, it's not very often where someone just flat out disappears. There seems to be a lot of missing pieces in this case. And it's so chilling that they never found any trace of him in those woods. Nothing? This is by far one of the strangest disappearances I have ever heard of. But I gotta know, what are your thoughts? Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Next episode, I've got so much more coming your way. Until then, I'm Avery Ross, and this is Avery After Dark.